It's funny with TV because you really have to not have anyone evolve too quickly. And it's tough because, all the writers on the show are feminists and want to portray the character in a positive light, but you also don't want to make her perfect. So that was important, I think, that the character would have some wins and then fuck up, because that's realistic. And we didn't want her to be like this martyr and everyone's a sexist, misogynist asshole and against her. Like sometimes when people give her advice, she doesn't listen to them and she's wrong, And so it's like one step forward, two steps back. But then I think the biggest thing was that, there's so many points of tension. There's the players respecting her, there's the family respecting her. And we wanted to make it so that at one time, not everyone was on her side, and sometimes she loses allies and gains others. But by the end of it, at least she had the respect of her brothers, even if they didn't agree with her. Mm-hmm. That there was like and that's for me that was like the right amount for season 1. That the brothers who tried to overthrow her at the beginning, by the end of it, are like, she can do this. We don't know that she can do it forever. We don't know how long this is going to last, but she can do it.
Yeah. Yes, everything Mindy said.
All right, we've got an audience question here from Talia. I have to show you because it says, for Mindy, the business bitch with a heart, and you are very well dressed tonight, I have to say. How do you approach dealing with writer's block or a creative block? What helps you get back into the right headspace?
I wonder if you feel this way when you're writing music, but for me, TV is wonderful for writer's block because there's just a deadline around the corner. When I've written essays, that's hell because there is no there's less of a timeline. But when I came up on network TV and we do 22, 24 episodes a year, from the time you thought of the idea till the time it aired was 6 weeks. And so I really thrive under those kind of very intimidating, scary deadlines. And so luckily for TV writing, there's never enough time to do it. There's never enough time to shoot it. So I think I chose that to avoid writer's block.
I think, I agree. It's like deadlines make you write the bad version.
Yes.
It's like, oh shit, it's going to be 2 weeks that I have to get this in. So I have to just get something out and I have to sit with it and hate it and then fix it, And I think that was like, for me with writing music, that was like a big thing when I actually had a deadline to write an album. Also, the hyperbolic chamber is really good for writing. I don't know if anybody's into that, but if you go in...
Are you talking about the oxygen tubes?
I'm talking about the oxygen tubes.
This got LA so quickly.
If you have writer's block and you go into one of those chambers, it's like someone gave you drugs. And you're like, I have 1,000 ideas.
Wow.
Just saying.
I should do that. Also, I will say this, and I'm not trying to be sappy. It's very hard to have writer's block when the characters are so fun to write for, and you have like a room full of people to do it. Because even if you're not feeling it, someone in the room is going to, and it's just, especially once a series gets started, it's like writing fanfic. It's just fun for all these characters you think are fun.
Yeah. I love this question too from the audience. Julia and Michael, what is your favorite work or project that the other one has done?
Oh.
Right? Good question.
Oh my gosh.
I'll go for me, it's the Mindy project because it just like highlights everything that Mindy does. And also like the people that you bring on and how great everybody was in that. And even just like, even Ike, like Ike in that.
Morgan Tookers.
It just says so much about Mindy. And so I'm going to say that.
I mean, for Kate, thank you for saying that. For Kate, it's like, obviously Almost Famous is her role in that, Penny Lane. Even just for the fashion alone, but to turn in a performance like that at that age is really remarkable. But I have to say, in watching her perform live as a singer and a musician, that was, I think, to me, really blew me away. Because when you talked about it to me when I first met her, and she's like, I wrote this album, I've always been a singer, and I don't know whether it's because you have in the past been in relationships with musicians, but I felt like when you said, like, I want to do it, and if I don't do it now, I don't know if I ever will. And then to have you execute at that level, I saw her in concert with a packed concert downtown LA. We all cast and all the writers went. And when we saw her perform, and to captivate the audiences like that, when I've seen you as Andy, when I've seen you as Penny Lane, when I've seen you in your dramatic roles, like, I was really, really blown away. And I was turned on. No, it's very sexy. I'm not gonna lie, it was very sexy. It is. She was wearing a sheer dress. I mean, it was very sexy too. I'm gay. I came out to say that I'm gay. No, but I think I was that to me to do something like that and to just execute at that level was really amazing.
I'm always scared to do comedy because I find that you read something and then you do it and it gets watered down because people get scared. And when Mindy and I first met, I loved the script so much, and it was so good, and the family dynamic was so relatable to me. I mean, I have 3 brothers, and so it was very relatable. But we sat, we had a margarita, and I was like, is this the show you want to make? And Mindy's like, this is the show I want to make. I don't want to compromise on the comedy. I want it to be flashy, but I want it to be fast-paced, and I want it to have heart. I want it to be elevated, and I want it to like walk that line and take risks in comedy and not compromise with that. And I was like, then this is the thing I want to do, really, because I knew I could trust that immediately. And when I knew Ike, that she was like, Baron Holtz and David Stassen are gonna, yes. I was like, this is gonna be not only a blast, but she just puts the best people together and you're in the best hands. And so I felt like this amazing trust, and here we are. And we're all so happy with, how it turned out. And it was amazing because of Mindy, an incredible collaborative effort, and you put a lot of trust into your writers and the teams you put together and the people that you're casting, and you feel it, and it makes everybody have a great time also. So the whole thing was like one of the great experiences for me personally.
I have to say, Mindy is shouting out Kate, of course, and her amazing Met Gala appearances. You have also had some amazing Met Gala appearances.
How about her Oscar dress?
Oh my God, yes.
I texted her like, this dress is it was my favorite dress of the night. I thought it was so beautiful.
Stunning.
You looked so gorgeous.
I'll take it. It was not the most comfortable, so I'll take it. Thank you.
Was it heavy?
I was thinking about
heavy.
that.
It was heavy. I was sitting next to Lupita Nyong'o, and the bottom of the dress was covered in these like kind of silver leaves with very sharp edges. And as I walked by her, I just sliced her right on the leg.
Oh, no.
She was fine, but she really did recoil for a moment.
Oh, my God.
It's not a great moment.
It looked
for
like
Lupita Nyong'o, national treasure, but
I zoomed in because I wanted to see the work, because it looked like the workmanship was just amazing on that dress.
It was.
But I saw those little leaves like kind of jutting out.
Just jutting out to.
I was like, ooh.
Just to cut a woman. Yeah.
Of course, this is a sports show, but it's also a workplace comedy. And who knows that better than you because of your time on The Office? So how did you lean into that with this show?
I think when I was at The Office I was there for 8 years, and I went from being an off-Broadway playwright to being an executive producer on on a network sitcom, and it's really where I learned the rhythm of what I think a funny, successful show should be. And I was so lucky. I didn't go to grad school or anything. I never took a TV writing class in college. So that was grad school. And the thing that I learned is, even though the worlds could not be more different than, like Dwight Schrute in Scranton, Pennsylvania, to this glamorous world with with Isla Gordon as the star, there's some things that are in both of those shows, and they're in my other shows, which is just like a couple things. One is like density of jokes, right? Like just the amount of comedy that we put into each scene. This idea that people are kind of like rattling off jokes and we don't sit in a joke for too long, you move off of it. And that's just the style of The Office, right? And throwaway, and that's cooler. That was like the whole, 2004 when we were writing that first season, it was like, that's the coolest thing is people are throwing away jokes. And even though that was a mockumentary and this isn't, it's a glossy, much more cinematic show, like those kind of tenets have been in any show and it just works. So that's, I think, the big thing. The other thing is like offices is where, romance happens. It's where everyone has somebody that they're yearning for, even if they're married, even if the other person's married. That's just what an office place is like. And it makes
I don't know what you're talking about.
It gives us the will to go to work every day is you gotta have that crush. And it's like the line that your character says is everybody wants to have sex with everyone's horny for everyone you work with, but you don't do anything about it. And that's the specter of do you do something about it, is in both shows, I think office places can be wish fulfillment too.